Warm wishes. I am Dr. Pallavi Khare from Navi Mumbai Academy of Pediatrics. Adolescents form the backbone of the society, and health of adolescents is of utmost importance because healthy adolescents will give rise to healthy adults. Clicking on this topic, we are going to discuss a very ignored but most important aspect of a healthy lifestyle, that is sleep disorders and sleep hygiene. So just let us look in brief. What is sleep? Sleep is a period of rest. It occurs naturally where there is a relative inactivity of the sensory system, inactivity of the voluntary system, and the brain goes in a period of rest. Sleep occurs in two phases, REM sleep and non-REM sleep, which occurs in alternating cycles, and the brain is inactive in that phase. Non-REM sleep is also termed as quiet sleep. The sleep requirements changes right from birth to childhood and to adolescent and adults. Typically, an adolescent will require 8.5 to 9.5 hours of sleep per day. Sufficient sleep is a necessity and not a luxury. This has to be noted very well. Good sleep is a sign of good health. Now, we will discuss in detail about the sleeping disorders in an adolescent. The American Medical Association guidelines have given a clear-cut recommendation that the physicians who are looking after teenagers should evaluate certain aspects of their lifestyle, namely their schooling, their parenting, their diet, physical activity, fitness, their eating habits, how is their sexual activity, what are their, if they are indulging in substance abuse, if they have some depression issues, if they have some emotional aspects which can affect their life, and last but not the least, their sleeping habits. We should know how the good sleep has effects on the body and how sleep deprivation is harmful to the body. So let us see what effects does a good sleep cause on the human body. The first effect is seen on restoration. The brain cells require good sleep to restore its cells. Restoration meaning by to rejuvenate the cells. The sleeping brain always has the power to eliminate the end products of metabolism at a faster rate than a awake brain. So we can easily say that sleep is of the brain, by the brain, and for the brain. An awake brain will always accumulate more end products of metabolism which are toxic to the body and the brain, of course, than the sleeping brain. The second function is memory processing. Some studies have shown that the brain which gets adequate sleep has good power to store long-term memories. That means the things which we have seen or learned, they are stored in the brain for a longer time. So the learning process is increased or enhanced. Also, the expressions or the memory buttons are always alerted, or they are always serviced by a brain which sleeps or brain which gets adequate sleep. The third function is hormonal release. Now, as we all know, our body, the functions of our body are regulated by the hormones which are released by the glands which are located at different parts of the body. Now, this hormone release is always regulated by the sleep cycle, or we call it as the circadian rhythm. When a person goes to bed and the person wakes up from the bed, the hormone secreting glands get signals as to release of the hormones. So this is called as circadian rhythm. If the sleep is disrupted or disturbed, the hormonal release also will definitely be disturbed. How does lack of sleep occur? So the lack of sleep is not a one-day process. it occurs subsequently day after day, and this sleep debt piles up. What are the probable reasons for this? First of all, children and adolescents of these days are overburdened by studies. To excel in academics, they have to either stay awake for late hours to complete their studies, or maybe to prepare for further assignments. So this causes a sleep debt or sleep deprivation. Secondly, these days in many families, both of the parents are working, the child is studying. So what happens is, there is a hectic weekday, and in the weekends all of them have to relax, and so they may go for a vacation, or they may have some night out parties. This, in some form or the other, makes the person to forget about his sleeping hours, and he lands in sleep deprivation. The third factor can be, teenagers are chatting these days for long hours, or texting or messaging from their mobile phones or gadgets. They never know that they are spending their sleep time on these activities, and thus causing sleep deprivation. Far-land travels or frequent travels, which might not be applicable to a child, but can be a factor in his later life. If the travel is frequent, or the travel is to a distant country, then the sleep pattern is going to get disrupted. Alcohol, smoking, substance abuse, use of caffeine can be a one-time experience, or a habituation to stay awake during the time of studies, or just as an enjoyment with friends. But one should always know that these substances depress the sleep center, makes the person stay awake for a longer time, and disrupts the sleep pattern. Many physical ailments like asthma, obstructive sleep disorders, maybe seizure disorders, chronic fatigue syndrome, depression, they all can also affect the sleeping patterns. Why are we discussing this? Because many of these factors can be avoided. Many of the physical ailments can be treated completely, and we can have a good sleeping rhythm. How does lack of sleep affect one's body? Now, small time sleeping disturbances will not have so much effect on the body. But if such lack of sleep continues over a longer period of time, then the body lands into a state called as sleep debt or sleep deprivation, which does have a profound effect on the physical growth, memory, and emotion of an adolescent. The first thing is, the person or the child may be sleeping involuntary or taking involuntary naps. Now, since the body is totally deprived of sleep, there is an extreme urge to sleep, and that can happen at any time. Maybe during daytime, maybe during when he is performing any of the activities, he will have an extreme urge to sleep, which is beyond his control, and this is called as involuntary napping. The second effect is extreme tiredness. Since the body muscles do not get any time to relax, there is extreme tiredness. Third is effects on memory and learning. Now, if the child or the adolescent cannot focus on his studies or what his teacher is teaching, he will not be able to learn the thing properly. If the focus is not proper, he will not be able to retain what he is learning. So there is a definite effect on his memory and learning. The next most important thing is accidents. Due to what we have seen, that taking of involuntary naps, these naps can occur at any time, even during driving, which we call this as sleeping on the wheels. This phenomena is very hazardous and cause accidents. The next effect is predisposition to obesity. When the brain is not sleeping or the brain is awake, there releases a hunger hormone called as ghrelin, which tells the body or tells the person to eat. So when the body should be sleeping and taking rest, on the contrary, the body is awake and the person has the urge to eat. So he is eating more and more. Also, some studies have shown even fall in the hormone leptin, which gives a sensation of fullness. So this study is still under debate, but yes, some studies have really confirmed the release of these two hormones, and definitely, if it is confirmed, we can relate it to increased incidence of obesity, where the adolescent doesn't get enough sleep. Last but not the least, the reduction in immunity in a sleep deprived body. As we have seen earlier, the sleeping brain is able to throw out the end products of metabolism very efficiently. The similar thing happens with the body. If the body is sleep deprived or is in sleep debt, it will retain the end products of metabolism and thus reducing the immunity. There remains no doubt that proper sleep is the key to good health. In spite of being such a common condition, it is often unrecognized or underdiagnosed or mostly ignored. One should understand that these factors which result in sleep deprivation are many times preventable, and if not preventable, they are treatable. So, it is a duty of every pediatrician and every parent, especially in this COVID time, to peep into their child's sleeping habits and inculcate the practices of regular sleep and proper sleep. We should advise the parents that good sleep practices should begin right from the time that their baby is in the stage of infancy. What is sleep hygiene? Sleep hygiene are the practices which help in getting proper sleep, feel more rested, and result in good health. Some of the practices which you might be knowing also, let me highlight them. First practice is maintain a regular sleep routine. It means that you should go to bed and wake up at the same time, almost the same time. So, if you happen to go to bed at 11 o'clock on one day and wake up at 7 o'clock on the next day, then see that you go to bed at the same time the following night also. If you happen to lag behind your sleeping time by maybe around 1 or 2 hours, then don't extend your waking time by the same duration. You get up at the same time. So plus minus time lag of 20 minutes is acceptable, but do not go beyond that. Second point will be avoid daytime naps. Now if you take daytime naps, what will happen is the sleep depth or the amount of sleep which is required by the body is compensated in the daytime. So the urge to sleep in the night will be delayed. So if you avoid daytime naps, then it is possible that you will get a good urge to sleep in the night. Third will be do not stay awake in bed for more than 10-15 minutes. If you feel that you are lying on the bed and you are not able to sleep, then you can get up from the bed, you can sit on the chair, keeping the room dark. Do not switch on the lights and sit on the chair doing maybe you can at that time you can hum some song or you can do some meditation till the time you feel sleepy again and then go to the bed. Watching TV or electronic gadgets maybe some 2 hours before sleep can disrupt the sleep time, because the UV light which is thrown by these gadgets always gives a signal to stay awake to the brain, and the brain may forget that it has to sleep. So keep away from these gadgets at least for 2 hours before you go to sleep. Do not consume caffeine or alcohol or smoke. Maybe some same time, like maybe 2 hours before going to sleep, because these are the substances which help you to keep awake. So if you are consuming them at the time of going to sleep, definitely you will be keeping awake for a longer time. Have your dinner 2 hours before going to bed, because heavy dinner or taking dinner and going to bed immediately might cause some reflux or might cause some disturbance in the stomach, which not be a very good environment to go to sleep. Avoid heavy exercises post evening, because the exercises release some endorphins which keep the body metabolism very active, and the body is unable to go to bed. You can take a light warm shower before going to bed. It gives a soothing experience to the body, and the body will try to calm down of it, maybe out of some stress or the hectic day activity which it has performed. So light showers are known to help the body to go to sleep. You can keep your see that you can see that your bedroom is clean. It has a good ambience and it is airy. These factors also give you a good a serene sensation or a calmness, and they can help you to go to sleep at a proper time. So I end here by saying that improving sleep hygiene is virtually a no cost procedure, and it is an important part of one's lifestyle. So it should be included in the public health strategy. Thank you very much.